Brian Davis here, mid-market inside district manager for the Carolinas and the Virginias, and I'm getting ready to dig my car out here in the Snowmageddon of 2015 up here in Boston. But before I did, I thought I'd get Gen4 certified, and what I want to talk about is the evolution of the all-flash array, and specifically I want to highlight kind of a paper came out recently by Wikibon that talks about flash and really four distinct generations. And the first generation is the kind of EMC was really a market leader and kind of first market with, and it was, we took a traditional architecture and we augmented it with flash, right? We still had spinning disk, we had flash, and we created ways to tier data back and forth between the different disk types based on performance and based on application needs. And this was revolutionary. It drastically lowered cost per gig, it lowered cost per I/O, but it was something that had to be managed, and it added a layer of complexity. So that really opened the door for the second generation flash players. And those are folks like Tree and Nimble Storage, and they took the same traditional disk architecture, but they made an evolution in simplicity, right? They created an easier, more efficient way to tier, which was great, but they used a traditional design still, right? So they still ultimately were bottlenecked by the 15,000 RPM drive. They were bottlenecked by a dual controller design. They were bottlenecked by disk though, right? So that left the way for the third generation of flash. And the third generation are guys like Pure Storage, guys like Nimbus and Texas Memory Systems. And they looked at, you know, what generation 1, generation 2 people had done and said why do we need disk at all? Right? Why can't we load the entire traditional disk architecture? Why can't we load the whole thing up with flash? Right? Well, they made they made some developments in data services. Right? They introduced things like deduplication and compression, got a little bit more efficient with how they managed storage, and it was great. Right? They were you know, okay, they did okay. They were marginally successful. But what happens is when you start to, they use the traditional design. So when you start to scale up one of these architectures, you start to have problems, right? You still only have 2 controllers. You still have a fixed set of memory. So when you scale this thing up, at times customers would have performance that was worse than disk, right? So our customers got caught in this tug of war between performance, which they wanted, and the efficiency and the economics of some of the data services, right? But in reality, they wanted both. So that's where the kind of the fourth generation came in. What was required for the fourth generation was a redesign in architecture. So this fourth generation is what Wikibon defines as what is here to last, and it's really where EMC's Extreme I/O stands alone. And what it is, like I said, it's a redesign in the architecture. So what it is it's a multi-controller scale-out design, up to 16 controllers with shared memory across every single one of the controllers, so that when you add a ton of flash really at scale, you don't start to have you don't have any performance issues, right? So it's the reason that we can guarantee data services like deduplication, compression, thin provisioning, and writable snapshots are going to be guaranteed and still maintain predictable performance. And it's the reason today that Extreme I/O has 50% market share. We've got more than 3,000 systems deployed, 1,500 customers, and $1 billion annualized revenue run rate. So if you haven't got an opportunity to understand about Extreme I/O yet, I encourage you to do so. So I am now Gen4 certified, and I also want to challenge everyone on the inside Carolinas team, Raquel, Angel, Mitch, Robbie, Pat Kilday, and Davis Butts. And I also want to challenge Mike Margolis. Go get Gen4 certified. I got some digging to do.